Mark's got some interesting stuff.
Okay.
So the most important question we've ever asked you: How did we get 4 years into the Mick Cronin era without knowing about the deflections bone?
You didn't?
Not until
yet.
recently.
You don't know about the bone?
Just recently.
Jaime just told us a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah, the hungry dog gets the bone. Yeah, I brought that from Cincinnati.
So when did you start at Cincinnati?
Oh, yeah.
You remember what year?
No, too many years now. Hungry dog gets the bone. So that's a saying, obviously a saying. Law of the alley, the hungry dog gets the bone.
And
When they throw the scraps out at night. So if you're not hungry, you're not willing to fight for the scraps, you're going to give them to whoever's willing to fight. So the hungry dog gets the bone. I teach them the law of the alley, which is, that's who wins games usually. The team willing to do, willing to get in the fight for the scraps. So you get to sign your name on the bone. And the bone travels with us. I thought you guys knew.
no.
You know what? That was weird. Maybe because that was my early tenure with COVID hit pretty quick. I didn't see you guys for like a year and a half, other than on Zooms.
Jaime was saying you actually needed a bigger bone this year.
Yeah. Whoever got the first bone, I'm like, what the heck's that? I noticed after a few games, like, hold on a minute, we need a bone, man. I mean, you gotta get on. I mean, nowadays you don't have to go to the pet store. I mean, back in the day, I told my guy Mark Berger in Cincinnati, my ops guy, go to a pet store. Now you just go to freaking Amazon. I mean, just get on Amazon. Get on Amazon and find everything you want.
So is there a team manager who's in charge of?
Yeah, these are things. Now you're getting.
Okay.
Like the
in
football.
weeds.
It's like the football. President of the United States carries the nuclear football around.
Yeah. I don't. Those are. Yeah, you're getting into. I just know the bones there.
Okay. Is Jalen the leader so far this year?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Well, on a serious note, we keep a deflection. So for us, deflections are very important stats. So deflections, you have a team leader, but then also you have to do it per minute played. To be fair, so like a Dylan Andrews is high. So per minute play, it's like rebounds should be based on per minute played. That's how a scout would look at it. So for us, deflections per minute played tells you who plays the hardest on defense.
And just so I think I understand it, but a deflection is
Any piece of the ball.
So it could include a tip pass.
If you tip it, you get one.
Steal?
I pick it up, that's two.
Okay, steal,
point.
and then what about on a block shot?
Block shot.
Okay.
You block it, and then I recover it. So loose ball recovery, block shot, tip ball, steal.
Okay, got it.
So one deflection and one steal is potentially 2 points. Because you deflect
two
it.
Deflections.
Right. Two
Yeah,
two
correct.
deflections.
Interesting.
You tip it, then you recover it.
Right.
That's two.
Interesting. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Which all takes effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy
That's double motivation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. See, you get the deflection, and I'm leaking out to get the points. I get no deflection.
Yeah.
I was talking to Coach Kleckner a few days ago over at Etiwanda about Jalen, and he said that you came out there to see him at a time when people weren't beating down Jalen's door at that time. What did you see in Jalen that made you say, I want this guy?
Wasn't really hard. I'm not looking to brag about it. In my mind, it wasn't very hard. I've said this before. Today it's a different world. Kids are so immune to college coaches watching them, recruiting services, interviewing them, following them. So they almost get numb to the fact that, the coach, forget it that it's Mick Cronin, that the coach at UCLA would come to watch you play should be a big deal.
Yeah.
And it rarely is nowadays. And it clearly was to him. He was breathing fire from the time he saw me sit in the front row, which showed me, this guy, I respect it. I mean, again, eliminated that it's me because, I'm still, for me, it's hard to believe it's me. So the fact that, but I know I am the UCLA coach, and this guy's breathing fire because he sees me at the game. you know, and I mean, went after he's just a great athlete that's just got a knack for making plays. That's it. Like a guy like him, you can't watch him in a summer workout. You can't watch him in drills. You got to watch him compete. The best way I could describe this to you would be NFL stories that I've heard about, like Chris Spielman was a great linebacker, Ray Lewis, but they never were the most impressive guys in their top 40 times and, you know, all that type of stuff. But then the game started, and somehow they were the best linebacker. You know what I'm saying? So there's a level of winner and competitive spirit that supersedes sometimes maybe your lack of height for your position or your shooting or your ball handling, whatever. So that would be the best way I could equate that to. And it was obvious. To me, it was obvious.
So when you say breathing fire, just like
Breathing
going after
fire.
every ball,
Yes.
just
every
relentless.
block shot, just relentless effort.
Coach, the full court pressure you've instituted this year, how's that contributed to kind of what you want to accomplish overall, especially with knowing that you have a team that gets a lot of deflections too?
Yeah, I knowing Adem's in the back, knowing Dylan and Amari have added to our quickness. And Will, when he's, you know, because he's back now, he's probably back to normal practicing. You know, those three freshmen, obviously we signed Sebastian Mack early, and he's a unbelievably aggressive ball hawking guy that's got great quickness. So, you know, it's never been Tiger and Dave's total strength. But so adding the three freshmen, Dylan, Will, and Amari on the perimeter with that to go with Jalen Clark, decided something. So I thought we could be better at it, and I still think it's going to be a big key for us.
How's the dynamic changed when you have David Singleton coming off the bench? And just not offensively, but he provided a lot of energy defensively in this last game.
Yeah. Well, first of all, just having Dave back this year has been huge for us because of character and leadership. Very underrated things as well. You know, that when you meet people and you just know that's, you know, a lot of kids, you know, most of us have kids. A lot of kids are immature as teenagers. David has always just had a level of maturity about him, and he's got unbelievable character. So, but he makes us deeper. Whether he, you know, if I were to start him and you know, bring somebody else off the bench, it's added. You know, it adds to our depth, no doubt about it. I mean, you look at our bench scoring the other night, was the best.
17-0.
Yeah, best it's been in a while. And I've said that, you know, the development of Will, Dylan, Amari, Abramo, guys like that, to be able to help us, you know, where I would say, you know, in our two Pac-12 losses, you know, if Tiger and Jaime have a tough day, it's, you know, Dave had a tough day at Arizona. It's all, you know, it'd be nice to be able to win with those guys having a tough day. You know, to be able to get enough points from other guys to beat a big-time opponent with those guys having a tough day. Now, having Amari back helps that because he didn't play against Arizona. But it just helps our overall depth, no question about it.
Coach, you've played Oregon already this year, but what have you seen on film about Oregon State that's going to make them a challenge for you guys?
They're 8-4 at home. So college basketball is an interesting dynamic, you know. Purdue is 22-1. Indiana lost to Maryland. I watched the game. You saw us play Maryland. Indiana lost to Maryland. 3 days later, they're favored at home against Purdue. They're favored. That tells you a lot about how hard it is to win on it. The fact that they were, and obviously they won too, but the fact that they were favored tells you how hard it is to win on the road. So they're 8-4 at home. Could easily beat Arizona State, gave Arizona all they wanted at home. So that's just how we look at it. So I think Oregon State can shoot. when I look at them, Taylor, Econo, Jordan Pope's had a great freshman year for them. Maybe the best freshman in the league statistically, I don't know. If you look at his numbers, scoring the most points probably of any freshman. So they can, and they got some guys that Jaime would match up with that are pick and pop, can shoot as well. So there's a lot of times they got 4 guys on the floor that can make threes. And, you know, Coach Tinkle knows what he's doing, so he's going to do everything he can to take away our strengths. Good, great guy, very good coach. So they're just young in certain areas.
What have you made of Dylan's progress through the season and his growth of late?
No different. You know, it's just opportunity. I think, you know, it's playing on a high-level team and making the most of your opportunities is not easy when you're not out there 25 minutes a night. But he makes our defense way better. I mean, all you got to do is watch him. He's an elite ball pressure guy. He's really improved his shooting. And the biggest thing with him going for his career is going to be to continue to be able to run a team and be a better decision maker. But that's all stuff we work on every day, and he's got a AAA+ attitude, Dylan Andrews. AAA, I mean, he's just unbelievable attitude. So he just continues to progress. But his progression, again, back to what we were talking about with our depth, is going to be huge for us. Because there's going to come a time we're going to have, you know, we're going to have to win a game where maybe Tiger or Jaime can't get it in the basket. You got to have some other guys get it in there. And Dylan's capable of that. I thought he played great at Arizona State.
From a coaching preparation standpoint, how hard is league games Thursday, Saturday compared to what you had at Cincinnati,
Yeah,
especially road weekends?
It's kind of, you know, for me, I started my career as a head coach at Murray State, and that's how it was in the Ohio Valley. Travel partners, played Thursday, Saturday.
Yeah.
So it was back to what I had known. You know, you're on the road. You got all day Friday to get the guys acclimated to who you're going to play Saturday. I mean, your Thursday game's a normal game. You got all week.
Do you prepare for Thursday up until Thursday? Do you do a little preparation for Saturday, or you just wait for Friday?
We wait for Friday. Now you get ahead of yourself in sports.
Yeah.
You know, the problem is you're sending a subliminal message to your team. We're going to win Thursday, so we're already working on Saturday. Bad message to send to your team. Now, there's times where you might have to, if you're not going to be able to practice much on Friday, obviously you got to get rest. That you might have to work on something like zone offense or press offense. Something's going to happen Saturday that you actually need to get some practice time in, but you wouldn't tell your team why you're doing it.
The assistant coach who has scout for Saturday is doing it all week, though.
Oh yeah. We're in a 3-man rotation.
Yeah.
So that's why I try to always hire guys that I think could or should be head coaches. So I told her that those guys they're working ahead. They're always working ahead. Personally, I'll take Sunday and look at who we're going to play on Saturday. So then it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on the Thursday game. But when I get, when the game's over and I'm on the bus, busing from Corvallis to Eugene, I've already got some notes from my post game the last time we played them, and from a couple games on Sunday, which is probably just the last time we played. But it's it's a normal routine for our players, and I think all the Pac-12, it just becomes kind of your normal.
Excuse me, Coach. We're doing a K-Count now. We're doing a story on Russell Stone.
Stone.
I'm sorry,
No.
Russell Stone. I'm sorry.
No problem. I did it too as freshman.
I'm sorry. Yeah. How would you describe Russell Stone's impact on the program over the last 5 years, 5 seasons?
I would say this about Russell Stone. On first, impact on the program. Practice is really important. People don't know that on the outside. Russell's a very good player. So when Tiger needs rest, Russell's in there. When we have injuries, Russell's in there. And he's good. He can make shots, takes care of the ball. He's a very, he gets in at the end of games, and people say, oh, he's, the walk-on guy that gets in at the end of games. And Russell really can played. Like, there's levels that he'd have been a good player. Aside from his character, his locker room presence, all the obvious things you would think about with a guy like Russ that are awesome. What people don't know is he's a very, very good player in practice. And that is extremely valuable when you have injuries, like Amari's out for a month and Russ is practicing a lot. And you don't have a drop-off because you don't have a guy in there that people don't have to guard. So he's going to be missed. He's very, you know, it's really important to have a good guy like him that can help you in practice. Well, you know, so, you know, his character's unbelievable. He's a tremendous student with a double major at UCLA, which is almost unheard of. So if you could buy stock in somebody's future success, he would be the first guy I'd buy stock in.
Did Cremonesi have to sign off with you on that hair before?
Yeah, the day, you know, the days of coaches being able to dictate hairdos are long gone in society for many, many reasons. So he's the one that's got to live with it. You know, so yeah, I get that. It's interesting. I get that from older, let's just say older than me fans. You know, it's like, you know, those days are over, guys, where we judge people for their hairdo. Okay, so please don't judge me either. All right, guys.
Did he just show up at practice?
Yeah, I
wonder?
guess. I don't know.
Is Will back and okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just illness.
Okay. Good deal.